All right, how we doing, everyone? Welcome back to Golf Subpar with Colt, Knost, and Drew Stoltz. And all year long, guys have heard us talk about Fanatics Sportsbook. We've run some great promotions with them, interviewed CC Sabathia at Fanatics Fest, and talked about Fan Cash. One thing we haven't talked about yet, though, is fair play. Injuries are part of the game, even in golf. But when an injury takes your bet and your sportsbook leaves you hanging, that hurts. That's why Fanatics Sportsbook hits different. They've got fair play coverage for you. Fanatics Sportsbook protects all pro football and pro basketball player prop bets from first half injuries. This isn't just protection, it's real value for your plays. Fanatics is the home of fair play. Download the Fanatics Sportsbook app today. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatics Sportsbook app. Interesting timing on that read.
There you go. Or call Terry.
Yeah.
And he's got you.
Wow,
what a
wow.
mess that is.
Yeah. You want to talk about it?
That's nightmare. Well, I mean, yeah, there's not a ton of stuff going on. I feel like that's a pretty big story. That is...
Excuse me, there's some massive stuff going on.
There's some other things going on. That's like the worst case scenario for a pro sports league. When you start to lose the integrity of the actual games and the people play. Now, these aren't like former players that have a friend on the team that are like, hey, so-and-so's out. These are dudes that are playing and coaching. I don't know. It feels like, and then the mob. I didn't even know the mob was still really that active. Apparently they are.
Yeah, I mean, look. All the details haven't come out yet. It's not great, but like you said, yeah, the integrity of the game with how big gambling is now is horrible. And also, Terry, $26 million is more than 200,000. I don't know if you know that. You could just stick to making the $26 million a year, and all is good. I know you want to help your buddies out. Maybe give them each just a little cash here and there, but throwing games, man, this is a big problem.
That's my guy Chauncey too. Love Chauncey. Park Hill's finest, Denver, Colorado. One of our only NBA guys ever. Legend around there. And I've always been like the stand-up guy, like never had any issues, any of that sort of thing. But yeah, current player on a monster contract, being like, hey, you want to make an extra 10 grand? Mm-hmm. I just can't understand. Also, it's prop bets on him. I can't imagine the market's just flooding those bets in there on a weekly basis. So if all of a sudden you start getting guys putting $200K on you to short your point total, might raise an eyebrow.
And also, I would have to think once you do see like, oh, this is kind of weird. I mean, this is a lot more money than normal on a prop bet. And this has happened a few times. And every time he doesn't play very much of the game.
And he normally sits out. And this guy's his cousin.
Yeah. So like, what are we doing here? The poker games are just wild. Dude, I mean, what?
The X-ray glasses and shit and tables. Yeah. I need some of that.
There's some weird. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do it. Let me know how it works out.
Come play me.
Well, yeah, it was crazy that all happened because I was up at Vegas playing the member guest with Ben Lamb, one of the best poker players in the world. We're up there at Southern Highlands, and obviously everyone's asking him all about this, and he's like, "Yeah, man."
Has he ever been a part of any of these?
He says he's definitely pretty confident he's been cheated before at a home game. Like, doesn't really play him much anymore. But man, it's scary the technology they have. Like, I know he would. He obviously knows a lot more about this than most, but I mean, there's some weird stuff between the glasses. I believe there's some I don't know if there's the barcode you can install on like the side of the cards to where you kind of know exactly what's going to happen with the hand before it even starts, which is possibly one of the things. I mean, it's some weird stuff going on. And we're talking guys that have lost millions of dollars at these games and they've been cheated out of it.
That's probably why I've been losing in gin.
Yeah.
It's cheating bastards.
Harrington's got those glasses.
You got new glasses? I didn't even know you had eye problems.
It's scary, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with all this.
If they get found guilty of all the stuff they're accused of, that's lifetime ban, all the stuff gone. I mean, they won't step foot in an NBA arena or locker room ever again. I mean, imagine if a golfer came out like, oh, you're missing, like missing putts on purpose or thing. Once you jeopardize the integrity of the sport, that's the number one thing. Like that was the big issue when gambling came out. But people that say when you put this much emphasis on sports gambling, this is what's going to happen. But by the way, this could have been happening in the past before it was regulated with like an actual sports book that brought it to light to the NBA. It says, hey, dude, there's some weird stuff going on behind this guy. It would have never been caught.
That's Charles.
You could just keep doing it.
This is stupidity.
It ain't smart.
No. But let's get on a little fun golf because Michael Brennan, what a story this is. Bank of Utah Championship. This is a guy who's been playing on PGA Tour Americas, which obviously is a great tour, but That's below the Korn Ferry Tour. He had won 3 times out there, was going to definitely be on Korn Ferry Tour in 2026, was going to try to go to Q School and get his PGA Tour card through there. Gets a sponsor exemption out in Utah and just dominates. And I'll be honest, never seen this guy hit a golf ball before. I didn't see much Thursday, Friday, Saturday because of the member guest. I turned it on Sunday, and the first tee shot I see him hit is 192 mile an hour ball speed. It goes 412. And I was like, who the hell is this guy?
No one, unless you're friends with him or play the Americas too, or you're that age and coming up, because he was a beast at Wake Forest, won 8 times at Wake Forest. Okay. He was really good. Like third most wins of all time behind Curtis Strange and Bill Haas. Like, so he was a dude, but no one's ever heard his name at the pro level. Played America's Tour, or, PGA Americas last year. Okay. Came back this year, caught fire late, won 3 times, got the promotion. I think like just over a month ago is when he got the third win. And then so he's a Korn Ferry Tour member right off the jump, but it was like playoff season. So he's not in anything, didn't play in any of them, and just skipped the entire Korn Ferry Tour. Now he's on the PGA Tour. He had one Korn Ferry start earlier this year in June, first week of June, miscut. That's the only one he's played. And this was just his third tour event ever. I was the same as you, though. I looked at the leaderboard. I was like, who are some of these guys? Like, no offense to the Bank of Utah Championship. I was like, this is not the star-studded leaderboard. And then I looked on social media, on Twitter, and they had some clips of his highlights. And I was like, Jesus, same thing I saw. I was like, 192. It looks really good, doesn't it? Yeah,
other than the 3-wood in 18. Like, I was like, this kid didn't miss a shot, basically, the entire day. Cruised to a victory. Beat Rico Hoey ended up beating by 4.
4, yeah.
Nice little run for Rico Hoey, too. Just needed some good golf this fall to keep his card. Just went 4th, 2nd last 2 starts. So that helps. Max Homa just announced this was his last tournament of the season. Finished tied for 9th down there, dealing with some ankle issues.
Yeah, it was limping hard.
Got a bone spur, he told me, and it normally doesn't flare up like this, but I guess this past week was just extremely bad. Also, they've put the band back together, working with Mark Blackburn again. So hopefully Max gets the game back to where it is, but he's going to shut it down for the rest of the year. But that's what these fall events are all about, man. These guys get a chance to make a name for themselves.
Nice event in too, a top 10, but I'm just saying, rough season, but at least something to build on.
These are the cool stories that possibly could be going away with how it's limited fields and all this in a closed shop, and which I think is so unfortunate, because if this is 2026, I don't know if Michael Brennan's getting this opportunity. And now he's a PGA Tour winner. And I heard Johnson Wagner say there as they were closing off the broadcast yesterday, he's like, he thinks this kid can be a real star out on the PGA Tour. The way he plays, the way he carries himself, it was cool to watch.
One of the first things I thought about was like, this isn't going to happen going forward. There's so much talent in golf. You would never, if I said, hey, Colt, there's a dude on the PGA Tour Americas that I think will win in a runaway you'd be like, no, there's not. Like, there's gaps, there's levels, but there are. I'm not saying there's a ton of them, but that's not even the second tier tour. That's not even the Korn Ferry Tour. That's the Americas. What do you think we got on the Korn Ferry Tour? Just making it harder and harder for these guys to get out there, the young guys especially. Thank God we have PGA Tour U now, which at least gives them an opportunity for these top guys to get out there. But I mean, Brennan, to go back to the way he swings it, dude, he average is Utah. I got it. There's altitude. I know. Over 350 off the tee, and he missed 6 fairways for the week. And one of them was greenside rough on a par 4 that he hit it 4 something down there right next to a bunker.
You know who missed more than 6 fairways? My bet, Taylor Montgomery.
It's a wide open golf course, but if you miss it by 40, it's stress.
He birdied the last 4 on Friday to shoot 2 over.
Hey,
I was like, way to show some heart, dog.
Good finish. That all counts on the scoring average. Tough.
Your golf bet hit.
Yeah, how about you, Steven Yeager, birdie maker? Got it done.
So hopefully you're over there at Fanatics Sportsbook, downloaded the app, and put some cash on Steven Yeager.
Who was your football?
Indiana smashed. 25. I told you. UCLA was that was a whole nother animal they ran into this week.
I did not disagree with you. I think, for my money, Indiana's the best team in the country right now. If you go on what you've seen on the football field, I don't think anyone's better than them. I didn't 25 and a hook or whatever. It was a lot of points. That thing was done super fast.
Yeah,
if you watched the pick 6 on like the first snap, more or less, from UCLA, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch much this week. I was really focused on a golf tournament, which
we're going to get to in just one second. Yeah. Shout out, reverse shout out to the Virginia Cavaliers who screwed me.
Yeah.
Overtime against the Fighting Belichick. But I will say, might stop shorting Carolina now. They actually have a little bit of a pulse.
Your other bet, the Denver Broncos. I will say, fast pay makes fast friends.
Yes. First 20.
This was just comical. The Dallas Cowboys.
It was so fun, though.
the first series was cool when we intercepted it. Our defense doesn't do shit, and they actually did intercept it, and they go down there, should have scored a touchdown, got a field goal, and then it was just, I laughed the entire way. I was like, hey, there's a receiver over there, and no one's within 10 yards of him. This is pretty easy for the Broncos.
They were so open at times. I was like, you know what it reminded me of? Everyone knows these golf courses. They either have them in college or in high school. When you get a course on the schedule, you're like, oh, that's a good one for the stroke average. Like everyone, we kill that course. I'm going to shoot something low there. Good for my stats. That's just a straight stat game on the offensive side. I mean, not only are they wide open, part of it's because they got to cover them for 4 seconds because there's no one back there pressuring the quarterback. But when you give them a ton of time and they're wide open, I mean, I was just like, dude, I think we could score virtually any time we wanted to.
The only thing we had going is your man Riley Moss kept cheating.
They were picking on Riley. Yeah. I think there's a couple of legit ones, 1 or 2. Come on, we got to give the guy the benefit of the doubt one time, don't we? Yeah. Hey, he's out there on an island. Sertan went down too.
I paid up. That was done. That was a rough one.
I'm not even going to rub it in. It's not worth it. There's no.
Broncos are good. Bo Nix, man,
he throws the ball
so nice. It's all about, you got to stay healthy though. But let's get to some more picks real quick this week. No golf tournament, so we're gonna go football. 3-team money line parlay.
Money line. Okay, so no more huge faves, huge dogs.
Well, you can. It's just the odds won't be as good.
But it's not as fun.
We're gonna boost this thing over at Fanatics. We're gonna start out with a team that's so much fun to watch, and what a story! Heading to Austin, Texas, the Doors of Vanderbilt. Down there, plus 115 against the Longhorns, who have not looked good all year except against Oklahoma.
It's shocking to me that they're catching points down there as bad as, as good as they've been. Most teams, too, coming off the 2 LSU, they were on the brink of retiring Brian Kelly, and then A&M went ahead and handled that for him. But winning that game, and then Missouri, another close, big game. Sometimes I think, like, maybe a letdown game, but this team just feels like they don't feel like it. They got a chip on their shoulder. They're going. They've looked miles better than Texas this year. At UT, we'll see, but
Vanderbilt
I love that. Plus money.
Vanderbilt might be the best football team in Nashville.
They're right there. They're right there. Things are not going well.
Also, did you happen to see the Pat McAfee field goal contest?
Yeah.
The guy, that was good from 55.
Yeah.
Where the hell did that guy come from?
Yeah, he's nice.
And then he did the McAfee golf swing celebration right in front of him.
That was good.
I like that. All right, we're going Vanderbilt plus 115. I'm going to go in the NFL world for a little money line pick here. A guy that used to be in Nashville, Mike Vrabel, leading the New England Patriots. They are in first place. They are playing some great football, heading to Atlanta, who I never know what you're going to get from Atlanta, but it's minus 250, so it's a pretty big money line spread, but I like New England in this one.
Yeah, Penix didn't play this last week. Kirko Banks didn't have his best stuff.
He's still awesome, though.
Actually go to the NFL, too.
Oh, boy, this is not
normal. Rare for me. But when we're going money line, like, there's so many big spreads in college, it's not as good. So I'm going to go with the team we just talked about. I think Denver Broncos are figuring out right now. This week was a nice little confidence booster. If we get Surtain back, I don't think that's super serious at this point. Who knows? But we're going down to Houston, minus 115.
Okay. So
minus a half.
We got the Broncos, the Patriots, Vanderbilt, all money line. Make sure you go over to Fanatics Sportsbook. Follow along with us there. Now, all right, let's get to it right now because this is honestly a first for me. Played member guest up in Las Vegas, Southern Highlands. I was trying to remember. I don't think I've ever won a member guest. Played in quite a few of them.
They're hard to win when you handicaps plus fives.
For all you haters out there, by the way, there's some on social media now
saying
no
haters.
I shouldn't be allowed to play in a member guest. Pros shouldn't be allowed to. I was like, okay,
I think you should be in prison.
Yeah, basically, that's what it sounds like.
That's what I think. Yeah. But what do I matter?
But I think this is our 5th or 6th year heading up there to Vegas. Me and Lamb, we've made the shootout the last several years, but never been able to get it done. This year, Sleaze, we brought it all home. I played as a +5. My man played as a 5. And cruised through our flight pretty good. Ham and egged it nice. We go to the shootout. Okay, 3 holes.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, it stays as a shamble. 3 holes. The strokes are still in play. So 16, 17, 18 at Southern Highlands. 11 teams start. Top 4 and ties move on. Well, one team got eliminated on the first hole. And I got to give a shout out. That was my man Joby and James Lokeman.
Big number?
Yeah, they made double from like 40 yards.
Okay.
Which was sweet.
It can happen.
Use my drive. Lamb from 94 yards hits it to 2 inches.
He's a great wedge player.
Tap in birdie.
Wow.
I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. Well, we make birdie. One other team makes birdie. We go to 17, the great par 3 there, over the water, tough. Back right pin, 200 yards into the wind. Lamb hits it first in the back bunker, and it's not good back there with how fast these greens are running up there. I hit Gary, little 4 hybrid, back right, start it right over by the water, draws, goes to about 3 feet. I have to give back. Okay, I miss. Lamb misses. So we make par.
Double miss from 3 feet?
We're still advancing. Yeah.
Okay.
Mine didn't matter because I had to give back. I was putting 2 for 3.
Okay.
So we go to 18. We got 2 teams tied. Okay. I hit first. I hit it the fairway. Lamb hits it left of the world over on the first fairway. So we play mine.
But safe.
Okay. I love my man Ben Lamb. He gets nervous when there's water in play. Okay. He'll flip you cards for $1 million, but he gets a little nervous when there's some water in play. Tries to hit it down the left fairway at Southern Highlands. Hits this high yaw that just covers the creek and goes into the right part of the fairway down below, which was not where we were looking. He's stroking as well.
Okay.
106 yards, back into the wind coming up the hill, back right pin. Nervous, wipes his hands several times, might have backed off. So he's like, do you like this yardage? Do you like this yardage? Gap wedge, hits the slope, goes down 6 inches.
Lammy.
So combined, we had like our 3 birdie putts were 4 feet. They gave it to him. That's how close his approach shot was because it was over. We win right there. He makes birdie net eagle. And they had a mark on it, but they're like, it's good. It was 6 inches max. I was like, dude, tap it in for the victory. There's a couple hundred people behind the green. It'll look great. He goes, no, I might miss it.
No, dude,
He's like, no, I'm picking it up.
Never put one that's given to you.
It was hilarious. But, man, we had so much fun.
Congrats on the big dub.
Thank you.
I love that. Shout out to Lammy for coming through on a couple of those as well.
Yeah. And now, basically, ever since
Water, dude,
it's hilarious when water's in play.
That's why out here it's funny with desert on both sides. Like which way you want to?
He gets so
freak
nervous,
out
but
on.
man, he played awesome. We ham and egged it very nice, but it was a hell of a week. Shout out to Southern Highlands, their staff. Golf course was phenomenal. Greens were 13, just beautiful. Weather was great. Everyone out there that put on the event, it is so much fun. Love going out there, and we finally got the dub. But Ben told me, like, if you win, the next year they like add 2 strokes to your handicap. So apparently I'll be playing as a +7.
No matter, you could be shitty next year too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, then you go up some. Yeah, some people, I don't necessarily hate it. I don't necessarily know if I love it, but they're hard. Like you're saying, that might be the first member guest you want. They're hard to when it's +5. You're normally giving strokes to everybody. It's hard to win. You're giving low handicaps. Normally, 4 shots on 9 holes. Like they make pars.
It was an awesome time, and one of the things he's doing now this year, he made me stay at his house instead of down on the strip where all the fun happens, and we win. Well, now what do you think?
Well, I don't know. I got a FaceTime from you, not from his house.
It's true. We still ventured down.
I was like,
I slept.
Ding. I was like, here we go.
Yep, here we go. Here it comes.
This is exactly what you think.
Shout out to Lammy. Wants to come back on, talk about it a little bit. But all right, well, that was a lot of fun. Let's get to our guest this week. One of the best to ever do it. 2-time NBA champion, Hall of Famer, the great Pau Gasol joins us on Subpar.
All right, ladies and gents, our guest today spent 18 years in the NBA where he won 2 NBA championships, was a 6-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, now a Hall of Famer as well. Before he took his talents to the golf course, we are very pleased to welcome Pau Gasol in the house. How we doing, Pau?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, guys.
Good to have you, man.
Thank you, Pau. I really appreciate you coming on with us. When you say 18 years, are you surprised? I mean, that is a long time. Can you believe you played 18 years in the NBA?
Yeah. I mean, I try to stretch it out a little longer, but it goes by fast. Really. I mean, it's a while. No doubt about it. But it goes by super fast. And again, if it wasn't for my foot injury, I would have tried. I tried to play my 19th season. I signed with the Blazers, and during training camp, my foot, I got re-injured my foot and fractured it. So I couldn't play my 19th season, even though I did the preseason of it. Loved it, loved every second of it. Now players, you get to see them also, some of them at least, also stretch their careers that far, which is exceptional and great. So, it was a fun ride.
I got real quick, since you mentioned the foot injury, what size shoe do you wear?
17.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Give him 2 years.
Yes.
Just cut out the toe.
Still think they'd be big enough.
Pal, you mentioned your last year, the foot injury, but otherwise you stayed like very healthy, especially for a big man throughout his career. Was there any like secrets that you had right now? Because I feel like nowadays getting guys through multiple years in the NBA without having a substantial injury is tough.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take care of yourself. Right? You got to be a good professional and understand what you need to do in order to continue to do what you do at a high level uh, for a long period of time. So details matter, and and daily actions matter. So just being disciplined to your daily routine, your approach, your habits, on and off the court. And off the court are just as important as you do on the court. So just appreciating the opportunity that you got and being very mindful about it. That's kind of thing to me what allowed me to play all those years, because also my summers were pretty busy with my national team. I committed to play with my national team pretty much every summer. The 3 summers that I didn't play was because of injuries, and so again, you have to be extra careful and intentional about everything that you do, finding your right balance, because for every player it's a little different, and for everybody it's a little different. We're not built all the same, and you have to find your sweet spot, know how much you can push yourself, how much you should rest and recover mentally, physically. You have to have a great team around you to be able to also help you with that. So it's not all just subjective. So that was a big part of it too. Building a great team of professionals around me to help me navigate all that was important, because you have to trust and rely on them as well.
You mentioned your routine, and I'm always fascinated talking to athletes about their lead in to games and everything. And I'm guessing, doing this for 18 years, like, you probably had a rather consistent routine.
I did. Yeah, I did. Some athletes, they have I don't know, obsessions, right? Obsessions, or you are, what did it call
superstitious?
If you don't do a certain thing, you think something bad's going to happen, or you're going to have a bad game. As you said, I think I was more of a routine type of guy, and I think we all are. We're all creatures of habit. So my routine was kind of like getting up, having a good breakfast. As I progressed in my career, my routine evolved and changed. So I understood that I needed to do more mobility in the morning, even do more like strengthening exercises for my ankles and for my shoulders, the little things. Then usually we had shoot around, depending on the schedule. If it's a back-to-back, usually you don't have shoot around that second game. And then as I grew older, some coaches, in mid to late season, they, with veteran teams, you choose not to have shoot around. So then you have to be, it's more of a mental preparation for the game. But then I would have usually the same lunch. I would have a plate of pasta and some protein, some chicken, usually as a second dish. Then I would take my nap before games, usually for evening games. We would have eventually or occasionally afternoon games, and then obviously that doesn't apply to that. And I would have my nap, and then I would go into the game usually, 2.5 hours, 2 hours before the game. Start with my routine there, do my stretching, do my mobility, do my activation, do my shooting routine for 10 minutes before the game, get my 100, 150 shots in, and I would kept that routine pretty consistent throughout my career, and then get ready to play, listen to my music, get in that mode, and get going.
What was the music to get in the mode?
It changed. It changed, but usually it's hip hop music. Usually. I had to, again, you have to listen to yourself where you are also emotionally. So sometimes you need a little more kind of like ramp up music, hype up music. Some other times you need more like, I need something to calm me down a little bit more, So you need to be in tune with where you are facing that particular game, that particular moment of the season. So sometimes they say, I just need to calm down. I need to bring that excitement that I have going on right now. And sometimes they, hey, no, I need something to get me going a little bit and get that aggressiveness, to surface, and being that kind of like competitive mode. So it changed, but usually it was hip hop. Even though a lot of guys were like, "Oh, what is Pau listening to?" And he was, "They might be listening to some opera or some classical music," because I had I had refined taste, and I consider myself as a cultured guy and with multiple interests in music and arts and so forth and world. So yeah, hip hop rap was my go-to usually.
I like it. I want to go back to draft day for you because I think that's always just such a special time in every athlete's career. But for you, coming over from Spain, obviously knew you were going to be one of the top picks in the draft in 2001. But can you take us through that day leading up to it, and where did you think you were going to go?
Yeah, it was a crazy day. It was my first time being in the U.S.
Oh, wow.
Period. I was 20 years old. I was there because I was supposed to be a lottery pick, and I was the top 13 guys at the time. And I was supposed to, the way it was supposed to play out, I was going to be the 9th or 10th pick, supposedly by the Boston Celtics, that had those 2 picks. And I would go back to Spain, play another year with FC Barcelona, where I was playing, and then come to the NBA the year after. But then my agent, the night before, we went to dinner and said, "Pau, I'm getting calls from teams that, would you come next year if you were selected top 5?" So, well, I'll have to pay a buyout to my team because I'm under contract. But, all the salaries are pretty much defined. So I said, okay, I think, economically would make sense. I guess I could negotiate with my team and we come to an agreement and it wouldn't be too bad. But, it was more like, to me, the mindset of like, okay, this is happening right here, right now. Will I jump on that train? Do I think I'm ready? Or, because at the time, I was the second Spanish player to ever play in the NBA. International players were already present, but they weren't like, as I guess as big in numbers as they have been in the last 20 years. So it was a gamble. But I said, yeah, I mean, that's my goal, right? That's my dream. I want to play in the NBA. I feel like I want to prove myself. I felt like I needed another year, but the opportunity is here. And if someone believes in me that much, I will take that on. So the year, that day, draft day, I see number one. Number one is elected. At that time, high school players were part of the draft, and you could select them. So that was a big high school year with Kwame Brown going number one. I think it was Tyson Chandler or Eddie Curry number two. And then I could see the cameras position themselves in front of the table of the player before they were called up. Right. So I'm like, okay. So then I see it before the number third pick that the cameras go to my table. I'm like, holy shit, what's going on? They got it. They think they're getting it wrong. And David Stern at the time, the number third pick was by the Atlanta Hawks, but that pick was already traded to Memphis before the election. So I knew that pick was going to Memphis. And Atlanta selected me with the number third pick of the draft, and I couldn't believe it. And that's where my NBA journey started.
Yeah, and you spent all of your life living in Spain. You come from Barcelona. You've never stepped foot in the States, and you land in Memphis, Tennessee. Those are two pretty different places. What was the culture shock like when you first touched down in Memphis?
Yeah, quite a contrast, and as you described it, a cultural shocked and adjustment. But to me, bottom line, I was fulfilling my dream. I was playing in the best league in the world with the best players. I landed in Memphis. I could have landed it somewhere else. And I got to know a city. It was a lot of interesting factors there because it was the team just moved from Vancouver to Memphis that year. So we were just a brand new team, professional team that landed in a new city. I was a brand new, player landing into a new city, into a new country. And And at the time, the team, we played a couple years at the Pyramid. I don't know if you guys been to Memphis, but I was like, wow, NBA teams play in pyramids here. They don't play in NBA arenas, or basketball arenas. They play in pyramids. This is something unique. And obviously, I had to adjust to a lot of things. I was lucky that my family made the commitment to come and join me in that journey, in that adventure. My parents both, they were in the medical field, both put their careers on hold. My brothers left their schools to join me in that dream, and I'll forever be thankful to them of the sacrifice that they made. And then once they came, we rented an apartment, a 3-bedroom apartment, and we lived there. And I knew that no matter what happened on the basketball court, I would go home and I would have my family. I would have a home cooked meal, and that was a very solid pillar for me, an anchor that I could just rely on. And then when it came to the court, I had to earn respect from my teammates. I had to earn respect from my coaches. And then consequently, I would go after my opponents. And then if I earned the respect from them, I know that I could play and I could go out there and prove myself, because I had a lot of, you could say, detractors at the time. It's like, who did we pick? Is this guy, this skinny guy that looks like he's 18, but he's I just turned 21 at that point. And nobody really knew me at the time. So I had to prove myself, which I was ready for the challenge. And little by little, I just made Memphis my home, and then my brother Mark played 10 years after me. So it's great to have left a mark in that city, in that community.
Yeah, you definitely did. One of the best ever put on the Memphis jersey. But then one thing for us being golfers, like, we don't get traded. We kind of move around tour to tour, so be it. Right. But we don't get traded. You get the call. You're getting traded to the LA Lakers, and part of that trade is your brother. What was that moment like for you and your family?
It was crazy. It's crazy in many ways, because getting traded in the middle of the season, it's kind of it's a shock within itself. But I was kind of ready at that point. The franchise was going through another rebuild. Michael Heisley, the owner, was on the process of selling the team. They pretty much, Jerry West, who was the GM the year before, had his hands tied. It was a year and a half that the team kind of took a step backwards after making the playoffs 3 years in a row, and we were kind of like in a rebuild team, a rebuild situation and modes. And I was ready at that point to be in a more competitive, moment and place. So I was lucky that I was traded to the Lakers, and it took me a while to process that, but a while that I didn't have. But I was obviously so thankful that I had the opportunity. I felt like I gave my all to the Grizzlies during that time, and now it was a new chapter. It was crazy that my brother was part of the deal. I had spent that probably what it was 5 months of the season, kind of giving our GM, who was Chris Wallace at the time, a hard time for not having drafted him, for not having traded for him after the draft night, because he was playing so well in Spain. He ended up being the MVP of the league that season. And then, Chris Wallace purposely left my brother Mark's name when he went over all the names that were in the package for me, left it at the last to know that he was part of the deal, and Mark was coming to Memphis. So anyway, it was exciting. It was a great opportunity. I tried to take full advantage of it. That was what I was determined to do. But it's hard to kind of like change homes like that. I mean, I was a single guy at the time, but imagine players that are with families, with kids in school, with wives. It's part of the business. It's probably one of the hardest part of the business. But it is what it is, and you gotta move on, and you gotta make the best out of the next team or the next opportunity.
Yeah, you made the most of it. You go over there and get a couple NBA championships. But going from Memphis to LA, one of the smallest markets in the NBA, to arguably the biggest with the most eyeballs on you. And then on top of that, you're coming into a locker room that has one of the best to ever play the game in Kobe Bryant. What is that like when you enter that locker room for the first time? Even though you're a great player, is there a certain sense of like pressure, or I got to live up to this guy's standard?
Yeah, I mean, it helped to be welcome in such a unique and warm way, from the team, from the coach, from Phil Jackson to Kobe, to the rest of the guys. I think they welcomed me with not just with open arms, with a lot of, I think, passion and excitement. And to me, I just recognized that that was the opportunity that I was hoping to get, and that I wanted to make the most out of it, and that I had to give my all and my best in order to, to take full advantage of it. And that's what I did. Kobe welcomed me and said, "Hey, welcome. I'm super excited." Like even on the first night when I landed to Washington D.C., where the team was, and the team was playing the next day after my physical. But this time, let's go win a championship. He was just about winning. So I think from a mindset perspective, when you go from a situation where you're not expected to win, or you're not thinking about winning, even though we all want to win, right? We all say, "Hey, I'd like to win." I'm playing to win, but are you actually approaching the game to win? And he wanted to. He wanted to make sure that I was in that different mindset, that I was coming from a different situation, but this is where we are right now, right here. And you and I are going to make this work, and we're going to get after it. And our goal is to win a championship. Nothing short of winning a championship matters. And we put ourselves in a position to win the first year, when we lost against the Celtics in 2008. But it was just part of our journey and part of our growth. And then we were able to win the next two.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you mentioned Kobe, and we all know the Mamba mentality and everything. And we hear about it, we read about it, but I mean, you got to live it and see, how dedicated he was to the game, that competitive fire he had. Could you just describe what it was like seeing it day in and day out?
It was a privilege. It was a privilege to be able to witness it and share it. Those moments with such a unique and exceptional individual that transcended so many things. So yeah, it was. He set the tone. He elevated everybody, because whether you race to that level, or to your best level, or you just wouldn't fit. So it was kind of like that type of situation. He was very motivating. He was very stimulating. He elevated, I think, everybody around him, just by setting the example, by really letting the work do the talk, and just that killer mindset of going out there and just wanting to kick your butt. It didn't matter who you were, and trusting his work, and I think at the end of the day, that's kind of what he relied on a lot. But mentally, he was just a different type of beast, where he was not settling for being one of the best. He wanted to be the best, period. But he understood as well, as he progressed in his career, that he couldn't do it alone, right? So he had to elevate the teammates around him, and he needed his teammates around him, and he needed to rely on them as well. So, I was so glad and, so lucky to have had that opportunity, partnering with him and the rest of our guys, and create a partnership, a true partnership, and to build a relationship that I was, fortunate that transcended also the basketball court, which doesn't really happen a lot of times with teammates, right? You connect, you work together, you develop a chemistry, but that's usually where it ends. But now there's appreciation or a connection beyond that at a human level, which for athletes is hard to do. I feel at the highest level, when we're so competitive. The ego is there for all of us, right? And part of our performance is based on that ego and that confidence. So it's a fine line and a fine balance to find. At the same time, it's beautiful when you acknowledge each other as human beings, as people, and having other things besides what we do on the court.
Yeah, you guys weren't only great teammates, as you said, you became very close friends as well. So I'm curious, is there a Kobe story or memory that stands out to you when you think of him?
I think, there's many memories that we were able to share. I think, for us, it was hard to, as we were kind of nourishing our relationship and friendship, it was hard for us to potentially to calm down or let our guard down while we were teammates. Once I decided to move on, let's say, and sign for the Bulls, we were able to kind of relax a lot more and connect at a deeper level. So go to more dinners, go to more lunches, and talk about different stuff than basketball. Because when you're in it and you're in a position to win and you acknowledge you have that unique window, to actually win championships, you have to be, fully in it and with a certain edge that you need to maintain. So it's hard to tell, hey, how is your day going? Or how's the fam? Or how's, so-and-so doing? And have just casual, conversations no, it's go time, right? Mm-hmm. It's go time, and that's all you you breathe, eat, and everything. That's it. That's just what it takes. So for us to, also when we got to play internationally, obviously you guys probably seen the documentary on Netflix, the Redeem Team, and how, a lot of people was like, oh, how did you feel him running through your chest and all that? And, he was very intentional, and determined, more than anybody that I got to meet. So he, when we came to the village, he's like, hey, Pau, where are you? He came to our apartment building, which, in the village, usually all buildings are separated by countries, and all of these are the buildings of whatever country. There's all the buildings here. So he went into he's like, hey, Kobe's looking for you. He came to find you and spend some time with you at your building, at your apartment. I was like, oh shit. Okay. All right. So I've always feel like he was kind of softened me up, buttered me up. So, but on the court, he was telling his teammates, I'm just going to go through his fucking chest and get it. And I'm going to send a message, and this is what I'm here to do. And this is the mindset that we all need to have is we're going through people. We're not getting out of these Olympics without our gold medal. And that was the mindset, unique mindset, because obviously my team, we wanted to win, and we gave everything we had in order to be able to do that. But how he set the tone and the message that he sent to his teammates as far as the confidence and the approach, that's a strong, strong message, and he, it was, I think it paid off for them, the way they won in 2008, 2012. Obviously they won others after without him and stuff, and the U.S. is always the force and the favorite team. But I love those stories. I love how intentional he was, how his approach, how he tried to share that with the younger guys. I also love that he was able to transform his role. He was not the top scoring guy on the team, but he shifted his role into the defense. He was one of the best defenders on those teams, and then he was more of a mentor, and an emotional leader of those teams, instead of hey, I'm just going to score 25, 30 points. No, I said, no, I'm going to lock this guy up. I'm going to go do this. So he was super just intentional and so intelligent when it comes to his approach.
Absolutely, man. That's Fascinating stuff there. I want to switch gears here a little bit because I know you love the game of golf. And I was actually looking at your handicap. You're carrying a 9.9 right now, very respectable. And you've played like 7 times in the last 19 days, so you're getting some swings in out there. What do you remember what age you first fell in love with the game?
I was 39.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, I guess as a 7-footer, you're not really going out there looking to tee it up very often.
No. I mean, it's funny because I had no interest in golf before I was 39. Like I acknowledged that it was a sport that drew some attention, but I had been in places, with golf courses, hotels and stuff. And I would the only thing that I would do, it would be go running, on grass, not really acknowledging the holes or anything. Remember one of my sponsors at the time, who was a tourism sponsor, is like, "Oh, you play golf?" I'm like, "Oh, well, we would like you, to swing the club a couple times for the commercial." It's like, "Oh, I'll try. Just let me know what to do." So it's just until I was 39, I think it happened to a lot of people during the confinement of COVID. Golf was one of the very few things that you could do outside that was allowed, and golf courses were still kind of with restricted access, but you can go and be out and do that. So after 3 months of being confined and people say, "Hey, come," or a family member, my brother-in-law was going to play pretty much every day. So, "Oh, come on, Pau, let's try it." I was like, I'm good. I don't really like golf. But then by the 3rd month of everything shutting down, it's like, all right, let's just give it a shot, So then the competitive juices kind of kick in. It's like, oh my God, I struggled deeply. Obviously, my sport is very upper body dominant too, and very controlling and forceful in a way that your arms and hands are very right-handed dominant. So I was trying to, control everything. No really swing structure, no nothing, no fundamentals as far as golf goes. It's just like, oh, that little ball is sitting there far away from my head. So anyway, just struggled, and I was like, okay, I got to figure this out. It cannot be this hard. I've seen my brother-in-law was playing. It's like, he's hitting the ball decently well. I'm like, I have to be able to do that at least. So that's when I took a couple lessons. It made a difference. Like it started giving me things, started feeling things on the course, just being out and challenging myself and golf courses for the most part, they're beautiful. It's connected with nature. I was kind of rehabbing from an injury, so mentally and emotionally also helped me. And then I just got hooked big time.
Awesome.
Yeah, to get to a single digit in like a handful of years, that's pretty good, and that takes some commitment for sure. I've been told, scouting report on your game, Pau, very good, like low handicap around the greens, on the greens, and then tee to green could use a little work. Would you agree with that assessment?
Yes, I would.
That's rare for a big man to have be great around the green. Normally it's kind of the opposite.
Yeah, but I guess I always had good, obviously, hand-eye coordination, good hands, good touch, good feel. I think when it comes down to the shorter shots and the feel shots and the putting, it's all about focus, about rhythm, routine, and confidence. So you visualize things and you just feel them. So I don't know. I feel like there's less moving parts, which for a 7'1" guy, it's a challenge when it comes to the longer clubs. So I think that's why. And then I'm a competitor, so I like to scramble and I get myself out of, tricky situations or I love getting up and down, and you kind of get used to that, even though I would like to get used to just hitting greens in regulation and putting for birdie more. But I'm working towards that. but yeah, that's kind of inconsistent, like I said, with the long clubs and trying to build a better swing, so I can be more consistent there, and I can use my leverage and my levers to create more distance as well. So hopefully that's kind of what but I should spend more time doing lessons and doing drills and spend less time playing, which is what I enjoy a lot. And when you get to a certain handicap, you kind of get comfortable with that because there's a cushion there that you have. And so the competitive side is kind of a double-edged sword where you enjoy to win matches, but I would enjoy to win them with a lower handicapper. Or with a lower handicap without having to get any strokes. I mean, ultimately, that's what any competitive guy or golfer, should want, I guess. But I won, at least.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, playing with your buddies is one thing, but then you tee it up at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am out on the PGA Tour, which one of the bigger events on the PGA Tour schedule. One, how nervous were you? And what was it like for you playing in front of actual people and some of the best players in the world?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I got to play. I played 3 years in the AT&T, so pretty much my second year playing golf, wow. I played the AT&T. Right. To me, two things. I love playing in front of people. I'm used to playing in front of people. So actually, playing in front of people brings the best out of me, or it makes me focus. It gives me the adrenaline, gives me the interaction, the engagement. Sometimes with the fans. That's kind of what I'm more used to. So I love it. It didn't, it didn't create a negative effect on me. But some people would tighten up or get nervous or like, oh, I don't want to hit a bad shot or I don't want to hit anybody or I'm not. That doesn't register. That doesn't go in my head, in my brain. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna lock up. I'm gonna hit a great shot. I'm just gonna put it, and I'm gonna, whatever it is. Whatever shot I'm hitting. So there's that, and then it's you do get nervous, which I like because I like doing things that make me nervous because I think making you nervous makes you feel alive. Whenever you're nervous, it's like it's what I tell a lot of people. It's like, okay, this matters to you. So you should actually do more things that make you feel that way because that makes, it means that you care about what you're doing. But then it's like, again, the early tee times, it's draining. It's, you feel it, you go to sleep and you think about those shots. You wake up in the middle of the night and you think about some of the shots or some of the things or the first tee or the next day. And it's like, hey, I'm going to hit a good one and remind me to have this swing thoughts and the stuff that you've been working on. So you try to put it all together. So when I was playing basketball, I didn't at the highest level and the biggest games, I did not wake up or did not get the same rest that I'm not able to get when I play some of these tournaments. So it's kind of cool, to me. I enjoy it, even though again you play those tournaments and even in the older format where you play 3 days instead of 2, you end up you're pretty worn out.
Absolutely.
I'm like I need some rest.
Yeah, you just recently played another big one too, the Celebrity Ryder Cup out there at Bethpage before the matches started. I believe your partner was Catherine Zeta-Jones, if I'm not mistaken. Good job on that. How was that experience though out there? That'd be a blast.
It was great. It was fun, man. It was fun. I wish we played 18 holes instead of I think we played 11. The format was, it was fun. So pretty much they made the teams and no handicaps were taken into account. So I partnered with Catherine, and it was great because I was told I was going to be partnered with somebody else, but then they partnered me with Catherine. So it ended up being great because, obviously it was best ball all the scramble the whole time. And she was a great player and we took her drive the entire round. And I'm so glad because they had us sometimes teeing off of the back tees where the pros would play from, which was ridiculous. But yeah, I had a great time. Michael Stram was on the opposing team. So he was a great player, great guy to kind of hang out with. And and we lost 6 points to 5. But yeah, it was a unique experience to be able to play in the Ryder Cup course 2 days before the Ryder Cup. I mean, it was fantastic. So yeah, the interaction with the fans, I was surprised how many fans were actually there Wednesday. That was really cool, and I got up and down and putted really well that day, as you said, lower handicap on the short game, and so people were like, saw me and congratulating me, and I was like, "Oh, you played really well Wednesday." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, I didn't play that well," but anyway, got some highlights. All you try to do is just have some fun, create some highlights, compete, and that's what we did.
Yeah, that's the only thing the European team lost all week.
Yeah, we got with the celebrities set the tone, and then we went downhill from there. Did you stick around at all and watch the actual Ryder Cup?
I did, yeah, I did. I went Saturday and Sunday, so I was there Saturday for the second session. I mostly followed, my Spanish guy John, so did that on Friday and Saturday were very lopsided days and kind of unprecedented kind of results for a Ryder Cup, where the European team just did extremely well. And but then Sunday was very exciting. Maybe a little too exciting for my taste and for the Europeans to a certain point. And I was following John's match against Xander, in that ended on 15th. Then I was able to stick around in the 15th, and then I saw a couple matches go through, and I was able to see, and follow Shane's match, which at the time he was down 2 or 3 on 15 with Henley, and he ended up, birding 15, birding 16, par 17, birding 18, and getting that final half point that gave the European team the win. So, and I was able to spend some time with Shane this summer out of Dare Manor, so we coincidentally were there at the same time with our families, and to be able to see him come through that way in that moment was pretty special. So yeah, it was overall just a fantastic, week of golf. The excitement was unreal, and I'm excited to help continue to grow the game, continue to grow the Ryder Cup. I'm talking to the owner of the Ryder Cup host course in 2031. There's going to be in Spain, El Cameral, course that I play quite a bit in the summer. And so I'm just excited to continue to help grow the game. It's giving me so much, and I hope that it continues to give a lot to kids, children, and communities.
Absolutely. We appreciate you for it. Before we let you get out of here real quick, you want to go through the E9 real quick?
Yeah, we got 9 kind of just goofy, off-the-topic questions for you, pal.
All right, we'll ask you this one to start out with. A movie made about your life. There's not going to be many guys we can pick for this role, but who's going to play Pau Gasol?
Oh, wow. Man, that's a good question. Who's going to play Pau? Who would play? Knight's going to play. Man, not that I would love to play myself. I love acting. I've done some acting in the past. I've done some cameos. I would definitely volunteer. If I shave and dye my hair a little bit, I would definitely volunteer to do that. I couldn't think of anybody, better than that to do. But what other tall actors are out there that could actually? It's
not many.
There ain't many. I saw them all on Showtime.
Liam Nelson, Hugh Grant, not Hugh Grant. The guy from the Wolverine,
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Those Hugh Jackman. Some people have some resemblance to him.
Yeah. Throw him on stilts.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's gonna have to hit the gym.
About camera angles, right?
He's gonna have to hit the gym to look like, whatever little Wolverine workout he's got ain't gonna be cutting it right here. All right, pal. First one for me. I got a little help from your sponsor up at the golf course you play. up in San Francisco at the Cow Club. But he wants to know, did nobody tell you it's bad form to show up as the first time as a member and win the first tournament that you enter?
Yeah, they did tell me. But it just happened. I got paired with a random member. I was alone. He was alone. We got paired the day before the tournament, and I had never met him before. And we played together, and we won. I had a great front nine, and he had a great back nine, and we won the tournament. So yeah,
there you go.
My name and his name are on the wall forever.
Yeah. Tough shit. Play better.
Yeah, you tee it up. You're there to
play
win.
Better. Yeah.
I don't care if it's my first or my 50th. I'm here to win.
Mm-hmm.
One for one.
Again, so might as well try to win this one.
Exactly. All right, my next one. Obviously, you mentioned a little bit earlier your medical background. You're a very smart guy. And in 2010, Sporting News actually ranked you the 15th smartest athlete.
Ooh, nice.
Okay. We actually, our guest coming up this week was ranked number 20th on that same list. Do you know who was ranked number 1? I don't either. His name's Craig Barcelow. He was a baseball player.
Smart guy.
But fun fact, I think you have an argument here. Peyton Manning was number 14. You got to be smarter than Peyton.
Peyton's pretty smart. I got to meet Peyton. He's a bright guy. Love what he's doing, what he's done. And yeah, those guys Eli and Peyton are pretty special.
They're hilarious. By the way, there was 4 NBA players on the list of 20.
Okay.
Shane Battier, Grant Hill, yourself, and I can't remember the last one.
Okay, a couple Duke
but
guys.
he was below you.
Duke guys.
Shane Battier and Grant Hill.
Feels like a very subjective list, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, who makes that list?
Yeah, I have no clue.
Parameters to be able to judge anybody's intelligence.
Yeah. I think we were 21 and 22, though.
Yeah, we had to be right there. Others receiving votes.
They only did top 20.
Others receiving votes. Okay, pal, your brother Mark, obviously great player. You grew up together. I'm sure there was some altercations as young children. What was the last physical altercation between you and your brother, and what was the outcome?
Yeah, Mark, I mean, I've learned not to mess with Mark too much. There was a point in time where, even though we were 4.5 years apart, where his just body was different than mine, even though we were both tall, pretty much same height. But he was just thicker, stronger built than I was. And you don't want to mess with Mark. So he has that mean streak in him too, where you just don't want to take him to that place. So there was a point where, we were like shoving each other and stuff, and he just, shoved me, and I just fell on my back, and I'm like, oh, this is not how it's supposed to go. So yeah, it was, we had I think a very, very good childhood. When I always try to push, we were very competitive with each other. I always try to push him and make sure that he knew that I was the oldest brother. Mm-hmm. But I give Mark a lot of credit, because he not only made a name for himself, and he at some point stopped being Pau Gasol's little brother. But he made some tough choices along the way. He bet on himself. He believed in what he could do, and and he became not just a great basketball player, and what I think will be a very soon, hopefully Hall of Fame also player, but just a great human being. That I love seeing how great of a father he is, and how great of a leader he is in everything he does. What we do together for our foundation, helping children, having better access to health, and grow up healthier in communities, and childhood obesity prevention. I just love my brother, loved him from day one. I love him to death.
That's great.
Go ahead.
All right, my next one here. You mentioned obviously playing in Memphis. They're very proud of their barbecue around there. Well, you spent some time in San Antonio. Texans also think they probably have the better barbecue. Settle the debate. Memphis or Texas barbecue?
Wow.
It's going to ruffle some feathers.
Settle the debate. I don't know. I don't know if I'm the one to settle this debate.
Which do you prefer?
What I prefer? Yeah, what I would prefer. I think, I don't know if I could say they're different. I don't know if you spend much time in Memphis?
I go there pretty much every year.
Occasionally.
Okay.
It's so
By
hot.
accident.
Yeah, for the FedEx tournament.
Yeah, it's so hot there. Good God.
I just that scheduling.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's tough. You see all those players just sweating there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sweating.
you got it.
Yeah.
You got it. Sweating.
So there's. Have you ever been to the place Rendezvous?
Oh, yeah.
Down?
They're on the range every Tuesday. Rendezvous on the range.
There you go. Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So Rendezvous is a great place. They have a lot of history. I think the South overall, but Memphis in this case, I think has a. I don't know if it has a deeper history when you talk about barbecuing than Texas does. Even though I had a great Texas barbecue place that we would in San Antonio, near to where it was said the worst barbecue place in the world or something. It was called Rudy's.
Oh,
Rudy's?
love Rudy's.
Yeah. Great place. Great place. Great barbecue. So I don't know. I love both. I think if I had to gravitate towards one, maybe it feels to me that originally Memphis has more of an identity and pride with their barbecue.
There you have it.
Bam. Settled.
It's over.
The debate is done.
Mm-hmm.
Done. No more debate.
Consider this closed. All right, I'm going to give you another one involving food/drink. Give me the reaction of the Cal Club membership when you first joined and you showed up to the bar and ordered an Aperol Spritz. Which I don't even know what that is, by the way.
Come on.
It's a summery,
drink.
refreshing, I guess, drink. I think for a stretch of time during that time, it was kind of like that, maybe like go to sometimes after round type of drink. And the guy, one of the bartenders at Cobb Club, it was like, basically he said, "Go back to Sharon Heights. we don't have none of that stuff here.
So you
we don't even know how to make that or anything." So I was like, "All right, got it."
That's what you see all the ladies sipping on in the south of France over on the yachts.
That's why I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't ever. It's been a
have it
minute
in
since I've been there.
America,
He said he's a cultured man.
Italy, France, south of France,
Yeah.
all that. It's kind of a good, refreshing, summery type of drink. Which
A highbrow drink.
Yeah. Nice little cool down after a round of golf.
Classy order from
after a real hot round.
Yeah, it's always so hot up at Cal Club.
All right, the last one for me. Obviously, you mentioned playing for the Lakers, the biggest market in the NBA. It's always special to see who's on Celebrity Row each single game. Okay, was there anyone you were starstruck by when you were running down the court? You're like, damn, that's so and so.
Yeah, it's interesting because most of the time I wouldn't really register who was on the court side, which is a good sign. Mm-hmm. Of how focused you are. But other times, it's hard not to when there you are, there they are, or who they are. Jack Nicholson, I think, was someone that I just love seeing, and not that I'm not a person to be starstruck, So yeah, I was just I don't know. You could say a lot of different names that came along and that were there regularly and stuff. But I'm just, I love what people do and I respect what people do. But I don't think I've starstruck. I just don't. That's just not how I register, how I feel about things or people. I have a lot of respect, but I just don't. I treat you as a person, as I would like to get treated. I can appreciate people that admire your talent or my talent, but hey, it's all good, and we're all here, and we share in this moment, whatever it is, and I like connecting and valuing people for who they are or who we are, beyond what we do.
We're all just people.
Classy
Put
answer.
our
Classy
pants
answer
on,
from a classy dude.
One leg at a time. His pant legs are just a lot longer
It
than
just
mine.
takes a little while. Yeah, it just takes a lot longer. All right, pal. Last one from me. This one comes from your good friend John Rahm. Text him and said, "Hey, submit a question for your boy." He said, Have him tell you the story about when he showed back up to training camp in LA after the 2008 Olympics and what Kobe Bryant had waiting for him in his locker.
Yeah, actually, I was texting with John yesterday, and I love what John is doing and how he thinks about things when it comes to his career, his life, and so forth. So what happened is right after the Olympics, in 2008, we go to training camp. Obviously, Kobe puts his gold medal, in my locker. So I go for a training camp and I see the Olympic gold medal of Beijing in my locker. So I'm like, so I look, and he's waiting. He's on his chair. He's on his locker, waiting for me to see it. And so I get it. I pick it up. It's like, all right, what do you want me to do? Congratulations, you won. Great. There you go. There's your gold medal. Okay. It's like, okay. So he was very intentional. He says, so look, we lost against the Celtics in June. You've lost against us in Beijing at the Olympics. Let's not make this season a third loss in a row for you. Okay. Oh, wow. So obviously I was already, I came in, we carried that pain of losing in 2008 against the Celtics into the season. And I was ready to do whatever it took, but it's just good to get those messages from, again, your leader, to stimulate you even more. Because you think you have enough, but for people around you that are going to battle with you to send you those messages, I think they go a long way. And Kobe again was very intentional. He was doing his part. Said, I know but let me remind you, of that even more and push you a little further. So from this day through the entire season, we're on the same page, because we gotta get back out, and we gotta get back to that final moment again, to the finals, and change the outcome. And what it takes is that approach from first day of training camp. Every single day, every single practice, every single game matters, and it's a step towards that or away from that. So you have to remind yourself of the importance and relevance of your daily actions. So and that was what we talked about earlier about the edge that you have to keep in those type of seasons or moments and times. So that's kind of the approach. And there's a second story with Kobe, kind of after the Olympics of 2012, where also obviously different time, different age, but same mindset from him, where usually after the Olympics and we go into a training camp, you have 2 or 3 weeks. And I just needed to recharge because I didn't get much of a break after the season and stuff. So I needed to recharge. So I stopped, training. I stopped this. And Kobe, they gave us the first day, I think, maybe it might have been to the 2008. Maybe it might have been the 2008, not the 2012. First day of training camp, we get a day off because we just played the Olympics. And Kobe challenges me also to a one-on-one. He said, Pau, let's play a one-on-one. I was like, whoa, we're supposed to have a day off. They gave us a day off for a reason. They said, no, let's play a one-on-one while the team was practicing. And he challenged me to a one-on-one. He's like, we'll play it on the post where you're really good at, So you have the advantage. But I hadn't been, still practicing to that level. So because I wanted to not ease my way into it, but, I had to be mindful of how much I was pushing myself to be able to have my best stuff at the end of the year. But he was always on. So he had really not taken off. So he was like sharp. He was like in shape. He was like, and he was sending another message. It's like, this is what it takes.
Damn. That's awesome.
So, and he beat me. He beat me on the one-on-one in the post. He was just a different animal, when it came to his approach, his dedication.
Well, Pau,
that's a cool story.
Yeah, that's really cool. Man, it's been awesome catching up with you, hearing your story, seeing how much you love golf and everything you're doing for golf, man. We really appreciate it. And thank you so much for sitting down with us.
No, my pleasure. Let's hope get to see you guys soon, and maybe play some golf and have some fun out there.
Absolutely.
You got it. Thank you, pal.
All right, that was Pau Gasol joining us on Subpar. What a great dude, man. What a story. I mean, by the way, his like medical background and all that, and then going into the NBA, 18 years. Really cool. And I love the Kobe stories. I could listen to those all day.
Yeah, it's like talking to people that are actually close to him, actually played with him, shared a locker room, all that stuff. Those are different stories. Those are different stories too. But yeah, him getting into the game of golf got pretty good quickly.
Yeah.
Like his short game, all that stuff. Like we talked about putting, very, very good. Long game, needs to figure out a way to get a little more pop off the tee, but goes in the Cal Club, wins his first event. Bad form, by the way. Bad form, and then order a spritz. But you can't find a nicer guy.
His specs on his clubs are a little different than mine.
Yeah, I was actually going to get into that with him. He's got the jumbos like Bryson does with multiple wraps. If you ever play with a basketball player, it's fun to look at their grips because even the ones that aren't enormous, and Pau is, like, they're like baseball bats, tennis racket grips.
Yeah, but he's a great dude, man. Really appreciate him coming on with us. And also, Sleaze, with the holidays coming up, it's the perfect time to upgrade your golf gear. I just made some Birdie Juice tees, and they turned out perfect. Great for gifting or keeping for yourself. Head to shop.golf.com and design your custom look today. All right, congrats to your Broncos. There's my 100. Thank God we won the member guest so I could afford to pay you. We brought home some cash, but a lot of fun up there in Vegas. Once again, shout out Southern Highlands. Ben Lamb had a blast, and we'll talk to you on next week's Subpar.